We start off with the latest development from the presidential villa, as President Bola Tinubu announced a reshuffle of his cabinet. President Tinubu has sacked 5 ministers, nominated 7 persons to head different ministries in his cabinet. He also reassigned 10 ministers. State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
President Bola Tinubu's first Federal Executive Council meeting after his 2-week working leave threw up a bit of surprise. But it was also highly anticipated. A cabinet reshuffle that will reposition the administration at a time when approval ratings appeared to have dipped. 5 ministers were relieved of their appointment and 7 more nominated as ministers, while several others were reassigned portfolios within the federal cabinet. President Bola Tinubu scrapped the Ministry of Niger Delta and approved the creation of the Ministry of Regional Development that will oversee affairs of all regional development commissions in the country. The Ministry of Sports Development was also taken out. Likewise, the Ministry of Tourism that has now been merged with the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy. Also, after a 10-month vacuum, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation will finally get a minister, following the sack of Betta Edu in January.
The Federal Executive Council has taken a decision to take that Ministry of Tourism out and the functions of that ministry be transferred to a new ministry called the Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy. The President and members of Council today took a decision to rename that ministry so that all these other regional bodies will come under this new Ministry of Regional Development.
The minister of the defunct Ministry of Niger Delta made some clarifications regarding the nomenclature of the new Ministry of Regional Development, insisting it is without prejudice to the Niger Delta region.
For our people over there in the Niger Delta region, I would like them to know that that has not removed anything from them. The NDDC is still very much in place, which is still under the Ministry of Regional Development, and all other such agencies are there. It's just a question of change of nomenclature. That is what has been done. And I wouldn't want anybody in that region to begin to feel that the Ministry of Niger Delta has been scrapped and is no more in existence.
The cabinet reshuffle may be part of recommendations submitted in a report by Hadiza Bala Usman, Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination. She is saddled with the responsibility of appraising the performance of the ministers. Hadiza Bala Usman launched the Citizens Delivery Tracker app, which is the first digital app that empowers citizens to rate ministries, departments and agencies. It is unclear the kind of impact citizens had in the process or if their input influenced the decision to retain or sack ministers. In the coming days, the list of the 7 newly nominated ministers will be sent to the Senate for screening. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Let's now bring you a breakdown of the cabinet reshuffle. The 5 ministers discharged by the President are Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejon, and Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman. Others are Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Guarazo, and Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Bio Ibrahim. Now, 7 fresh names have been nominated by President Tinubu for ministerial positions, subject to confirmation by the Senate. Nintawa Yilwatda was nominated as Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Muhammadu Dingyadi as Minister of Labor and Employment. Bianca Ojoko has been nominated as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. Jumoke Odwole is Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. Idi Mukhtar will head the Ministry of Livestock Development. Others are Yusuf Atta, nominated as Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, and Suwaiba Ahmed as Minister of State for Education. And President Tinubu has also reassigned some ministers. Current Minister of State for Education, Yusuf Sunono, is now Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Current Minister of State for Health, Tunji Alausa, is now Minister of Education. Bello Godonyo, who is a current Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, is now Minister of State for Works. Others are Abubakar Momo, who is a current Minister of Niger Delta Development, who has now been reassigned to the Ministry of Regional Development. Minister of State for Steel Development, Uba Ahmadu, is now Minister of State for Regional Development. Current Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzo-Kanite, is now Minister of State for Finance. John Eno is now Minister of State for Trade and Investment. Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, who was formerly Minister of State for Police Affairs, she has now been nominated as appointed as Minister of Women Affairs. Ayodele Olawande has been reassigned to the Ministry of Youth Development, and Salako Isiaq is now the Minister of State for Health.